Sister, before we talk about the controversy, just a little about you. Why did you choose rap music as a form of entertaining expression?
I think the important thing for people to understand is that in America we have an educational system that does not speak to the needs of African children. And so what hip-hop music has done is served as an alternative communication mechanism and given African children in this country some of the only understanding of African history that they'll ever receive.
How about all the great female black jazz, blues, and rock artists?
Well, Mr. King, I'm sure that you don't think that the history of African people is limited to music, or that music can build the esteem, the mind, heart, spirit, and intellect of African children in and of itself.
No, the question, Sister, was why you chose rap music as your form of musical expression.
Oh, because clearly hip-hop music is what reaches the young population. And in America, African children are in a state of emergency. So the best vehicle to use is the vehicle that they enjoy, which is hip-hop music.
Okay, let's try to put this in perspective. Were you misquoted?
Yes, I was definitely misquoted.
What did you say, and what did they printed that you said about killing whites? You said you didn't say that?
What I'm saying is that what you and other people in the media have not done is said what the question that the reporter asked me was, what I said before and after the comment that people are blowing up and magnifying all over the world.
All right, that's what I just asked you now. What happened?
The question was, but even the people themselves who were perpetuating that violence, did they think it was wise? Was that wise, reasoned action? So the reporter is asking me what the people who did the violence in Los Angeles think.
Right.
And I responded to him in the voice of the people who did the violence, which is that white people have known that every day in Los Angeles, black people are dying from gang violence, but that they did not care. But when it became a question of white people dying and $1 billion in property being lost, that's when it became a concern. But in the mind of a gang member, if the social and economic system has neglected your development and you have become a casual killer who will kill even your own brother, in your mindset, why not kill a white person? Because murder will not discriminate by color. The other thing that I said is that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and that if white America continues to neglect the development of African youth and it turns into economic and criminal justice crisis, they will be the victims of that system as well as black people.
When the Washington Post printed that, did you then issue any kind of a statement saying that here is the way it was asked, here is the way it was answered, and taken on those terms, you're reading it wrong?
No, actually, I'm used to newspapers having preconceived notions and preconceived actions, because the issue of white supremacy and racism in America is so explosive. What happens is people don't want to hear what African people are actually saying. They want to hear what they want to hear. And so they manipulate the African leadership's words all the time.
Do you think that...
Okay, so Yedediah over here explained that it was really important for African Americans to feel like, for African Americans to have a linkage for some way to get back to the motherland. So what I was trying to explain, that a lot of different countries have an initiative to like, if you are of their original descent, for instance, Israel. If you are of Israeli descent, or if one of your parents are Jewish, you have a birthright and you are eligible to go to Israel for free. And it's a program that they have. And I think what he was trying to incorporate was, it would be awesome if African Americans had that same kind of birthright to get back to Africa, to actually link and see exactly for free with this program, to see like where you actually come from. It would be very beneficial. I think it would be very beneficial to our entire community to uplift African Americans so that we can actually know where we do come from.
Can I ask you a question? That was good.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the African American?
what is an African American? An African American, to my definition, is somebody who was born here.
But when you talk about nationality, that's what I'm asking you a question.
Let's move it back here.
I'm asking you, what's an African American when you're dealing with nationality?
Anyone who is of African descent. So I do know, like, for instance, some people will differentiate as far as what kind of... Our primary goal, I believe, like within our black community, is education. Now, the Israelis have this type of program because as a nation, they are very educated. It is very important for us as people, young people like us, to educate our people, because just like many of you may not have known about this, Birthright Initiative, but I knew about it because of the education background. Education will solve a lot of problems amongst our community, and that's the point I'm trying to make.
Another conversation we had earlier.
Just as
no problem with black people in this land claiming Aboriginal status. It's not a secret that the very first people in this land were black people. That's not a secret. You can look on the cover of Scientific American and it says the oldest Americans, and they've already done all of the archaeological and anthropological research and osteological research to show that the very first human beings in this country were black people. That's not the argument. The argument is that in this movement, spearheaded by people like the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Dr. John Henry Clark, the Dr. Ben Sobel, and so on, what we're talking about is an essentialist movement. An essentialist movement dealing with things, I think it was yourself, or one of you a moment ago was speaking about being original, right? So if you're going to get caught up in a paradigm of being original, being the first in this land does not mean that we are original to this land. Don't confuse the arguments, because if you confuse the arguments, then you're going to confuse everything. You're going to be lost. Your compass, your GPS compass is going to be way off. So the point I'm making is this. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the Arapaho, the Winnebago Sioux, the Cheyenne, Romanoes, any of those people. I'm very well acquainted with those people. And I'm well acquainted with the people that came before them in this land. The pyramid builders, the mound builders throughout Mississippi. So I'm very, whichever ones you want to name, the Seminole, the Black, doesn't matter which ones you name. The point that I'm making is that even those people came from someplace else before they was here. So don't come at me with that we are original to this land, because that's some bullshit. We are the first people in this land, but we're not original to this land. We are original to that continent over there, Africa. Africa. Don't ever get it twisted, because I will be the first one to set you straight. Doesn't matter who it is, because facts don't lie. 2 + 2 is 4, no matter where you stand in that, unless you're in a quantum physics universe. Then 2 + 2 might equal something different. But as long as we're dealing here on the plane structure, right? As long as we're dealing here on the plane structure, no matter what people that you find in this land, because there are no bones ever found anywhere in this land that date back to Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Australopithecus. All of those bone sequences are found only in Africa, Olduvai Gorge and further south. So if you're dealing with an essentialist movement and we're talking about original, you got to deal with that continent. You got to deal with that continent. And for all of the fools, and I'm going to really check you right now, for all of the fools that keep talking about the name Africa came from Africanus, the Roman, Dr. Ben has said 8,000 times you need to go back to the basics. And I keep telling you people, stop with all of these new so-called scholars, because they don't have their basics down. Dr. Ben said 100,000 times, and he called you fools because you don't do research. The name predates Roman Africanus, whatever they call themselves, Separicus, whatever his name was. It was that area became a Roman province. But the reason why the name Africa became attached to his name is because the place of the name that you conquered became attached to your name. It was called that before he conquered it. So stop talking stupid shit. We are Africans. Period. Now, if you want to get rid of the American, I got no problem with that. If you want, I got a tattoo on my shoulder right here. If I say it, I mean it. 100% African, Nubian, and black. It's right there on my shoulder. So I never look in the mirror and get confused or get it twisted or let somebody come up to me and tell me that I'm original to this land. I am not original to this land. I'm original to that land below the equator. You understand? You can pick apart any part you want. My mother lives in Ghana. I got family in Sierra Leone. I speak most of the languages from that region. So I have no problem with that. I have no problem with any of it, but I'm an African. You are an African. I'm not buying into the falsehood that we all came over here on slave ships. We all know that's game. We know that's game. That's game. We were here long before they got here. You want to call us Moors, you want to call us Washita, you call us whatever you want. We were here. But we were everywhere before they got here. It doesn't matter what part of the planet you name. We were everywhere. That's not a secret. And whatever mutations we went through to become something else, then that's what it was. If you ask me, these days I'm starting to think that these crackers don't come from us. I'm really thinking they came from someplace else. Because, I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a large movement amongst white people that are saying that. There's a comedian, one of my favorite comedians, a white boy. His name is Louis C.K. And you know it. Louis C.K. has a whole segment. He's joking as if he's a white Richard Pryor on stage. But he says, you ever look at white people? We act like we don't come from this planet. And then he goes through and describes detail by detail why he says that. Yeah, Louis C.K. Yeah, they don't like him anymore after that because that...
Shut that shit down. It's not a problem. You can bring me any Hebrew, Jew, Christian, Muslim, bring them all. They all tied to the same bullshit.
Well, let me ask you, where do the 10 Commandments come from? Because I had a Hebrew here earlier, and he was telling me it come from the Most High.
It come from the Most High. Yeah. Okay, ask me this. What was Moses fleeing from Egypt for? Why did he have to flee Egypt? Why did Moses have to flee Egypt?
All right, these are the questions.
That's what I'm asking you. Anybody out here, why did Moses have to flee Egypt? For murder. He murdered Pharaoh's soldier and he had to flee Egypt. Then 80 years later, he went up on the mountain and got a law from God that said, thou shalt not kill. Now how the hell he gonna get the law from God 80 years later when he was fleeing from Egypt for murder? Go look it up. Even the Hebrews that saw him do that. Yes, exactly. He saw the two Hebrews arguing, right? Right. And so they say he tried to check the Hebrews about arguing with one another, saying that y'all brothers, but then the Hebrew looked at him and said, how can you judge us for you slay Pharaoh's soldier? And they used the word kill in that verse. So they understood the concept of killing long before Moses supposedly got some laws on the mountain. That's true.
Is it true that the story of Jesus is a direct plagiarized script from Kemet?
It's not direct, but it's pieces of it that is from Egypt. Christianity is nothing but Greek mythology mixed with Egyptian religion. That's all it is. The gods that you call, the greater gods of ancient Rome, they took places in Christianity. You see Cupid, that's the baby angel, that was already there. You got Venus, the Virgin, she was already there. Okay, and Jesus is nothing but Zeus. Say Jesus in Spanish. Hey Zeus.
Hey Zeus, that's right.
Hey Zeus. Son of goddamn Zeus. That's all that it is. Is that just a coincidence? When you can take Jesus and put him right next to Serapis, and they looked at, you can see the shit for yourself, but you don't want to accept the fact. They see it, but they know if they tell on Master gonna dig in that ass. See, Master still signing them checks though. So you can know the truth, but as soon as a nigga have to put his check and the truth on the line, he gonna choose the check. So a lot of these people know this shit. They know that this shit is old, man. Everybody know that Jesus is a copy of Horus mixed with Greek mythology. About to act up. The sage of the age. My mind is stronger than the whole nations combined. You can get all the Arabs in the world, goddamn it. You can put them all together and I still got them beat. One mind greater than whole races and shit. God damn. And that's real. That's real. Come on in. Put the yak down for a second. I know y'all about to go out about 11 o'clock. Y'all ready to go get your yak on. Just chill out for a second. Want to talk to y'all about a few things. You understand what I'm saying? Just warming up. You know, I got so much information that, you know, I might as well just start dropping bombs tonight. You know, even before the lecture start tomorrow, I'm going to just start dropping bombs tonight. Let me ask y'all a question. Matter of fact, let me get a swig of water first. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm about to spit this fire. You feel me? I'm about to spit this fire on you niggas. Did you know that 80% of all Arabs in the world live in Africa? Did you know that? I'm going to say it again. And this is a fact. And it might even be higher than that. 80% of all Arabs in the world live in Africa. See, while you niggas was over there crawling in the sand, huh? Y'all over there with your forehead on the sand, praying to a mystery God. You niggas over there praying, running around a shoebox in the sand that y'all call the cop. A shoebox in the sand that you call the cop. Huh? The Arabs snuck into Africa. They didn't really sneak in. They seized Africa, opened the door for all their families, invited their families in, right? And so while you niggas was over there with your forehead on the sand, you understand? You know what the Arab yelled across the Red Sea? He said, psych, psych, we got you, nigga. We got you. See, they know the true Holy Land is Africa. They know the true Holy Land is Africa. How the hell can you call a land that can't even grow food holy? Huh? I'm just being real. I'm just being real. If I can't grow no goddamn food on it, how the fuck is it holy? See, y'all be missing, y'all truly is confused about what religion is and what religion isn't. Anytime a religion can talk you out, you're looking at the demographics of Africa, and we looking up at the title is why Northeast Africa was changed to the Middle East, and you're gonna see why it was changed to the Middle East. But let me deal with that. That you niggas, and I must say this, and I'm sick of motherfuckers talking about it ain't no niggas. Yes, it is. It's some niggas. Anytime you would give up 13 million square miles of the richest real estate on the planet in resource, in food, in precious minerals, you get that up for some goat pastures. Goat pastures. Goat pastures called Mecca. So Israel, whatever you want to call it, all fictional, never been to Israel until 1945. Never been to Israel till 1945. Maybe in them comic books that you call the Bible, you know, Marvel Comics ought to buy goddamn the Bible, put a copyright on the Bible, because them goddamn characters in the Bible is no realer than them goddamn characters in Marvel Comics. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just being real. And you niggas talking about Wakanda ain't real. Goddamn Saudi Arabia and Israel ain't goddamn real. So all you niggas running, you been talking about a fictional land called Israel all these years. You ain't said shit about that. And then as soon as Wakanda come along, y'all want to jump on Wakanda. Talking about Wakanda not real. Israel not real. Goddamn Mecca not real. None of that shit is real. Only in your mind is it real. Okay? No historical evidence that any of them lands ever existed into the modern era. But, you know, that's for you believers. That, you know, I'm about knowledge. You know, I'm about knowing. See, belief is the